everybody, to day 12. We are studying Jeremiah 20:13. The verse today is, "Sing to the Lord, praise the Lord, for he has delivered the life of the needy from the hand of the evildoers." And when I thought about this verse, I really thought about how when I first came to Christ that I was the needy, and I still am the needy every day, and how daily he lifts me out of anything that is not of him. And so let me show you what I did, but first let me introduce myself. I'm Anna Tracy. I'm with the Bumblebee and Me. And today is really day 15, but I'm working on day 12. So I'm going to see if I get 2 done today. So if you think back on simpler times, I was thinking that sometimes we think of when we first came to Christ, it was a simpler time. We took what God said at face value, and then life kind of comes along, and it's almost like a daily thing where we have to relay down our life. We have to give it back to him. We have to entrust him with it every day and say, I trust you with it, and that I am still needy, and that I'm being rescued from evildoers. But as a result of that we can do that, and we can trust him with our lives, is something to be praising him about. So I thought what came to my mind was just an old-fashioned radio, and music, so that we should sing to the Lord. So I drew it out here in pencil. You can see it, and I'm going to color this all in with make my own little green-blue color. That's my attempt, and then fill it in with ink and do some writing, and then we'll be done with that. So I'm using a aqua brush. I used a pencil, just a little mechanical pencil, to draw it. And let's get started here. So I want to stick with kind of a blue-green color. And I'm using my Koi watercolor. And so the Viridian hue, which is this one here, it's a nice cool green. It has kind of a bluish tone to it, but it's really green. Really, really, really green. So in order to mix that in, I'm going to add some blue. And I'm kind of debating, do I want... Okay, that's still really green. Okay. I'm wiping it off on my... Oh, there we go. That's nice. Okay, so now we have a real pretty color. I'm going to just do a wash. Now remember, this is not watercolor paper, and I did not use absorbent ground, so we're going to just do as light as possible. I have prepped my page. If this is your first time watching me, I have, or not prepped, but I have covered up. So underneath, as well as next to this page, I have put some Glad wrap, and it's, wow, there's just a lot of little hairs trying to pick up. Then that way the water doesn't seep onto the next page. Now, if you wanted to prep, you could. I usually do that the night before, so I give it plenty of time to really get full and dry. And I just kind of forgot about that. So we're going to just be gentle. If you go over it too many times, that's why I said I think we're just going to do a light wash, it will pill. That's the big issue, is that your paper will pill. So be ready for that if you're not used to doing it. And this particular Bible I'm working with is an Interleave ESV Bible. And it just seems like Bibles are thin pages, and this is a really thin page Bible. So I try to always go on the outside first. I went in that little circle part. So I don't know if you remember those old-fashioned dials. My grandmother had one. And you could totally just go around it and and find your station. Of course, it seemed like there was AM and no FM. I remember my mom's car growing up. When I was a kid, it was just AM, and of course all the cool stations were FM. So, and this is probably just an AM station. Remember, we're looking back at a simpler time, and when you came to Christ, I'm sure that you thought to yourself, it just doesn't get any better. And you know what? You were right. We are right when we think that way. We are not being disillusioned or anything. We are believing that to be true. However, it doesn't mean that we still can't have life happen. Problems happen, and things just seem to take us away from God's design for our lives. So that is just a part of it. So, however, irregardless, we are going to be singing praises. Last night I was at church and I was thinking about, as I was singing a song about adoring Him. And the fact of the matter is that we are not worthy to be in communion with Him, but because of Jesus, we have this access to Him, and we get to worship and praise the God of the universe. We get to talk to Him. We get to see Him move through us and those that we love around us. And what an amazing thing that is. I'm going to let this dry, but I am going to use a little Payne's Gray. And over here I'm going to pick up some of this blue. I think it's cerulean blue, just to kind of lighten it a bit. And this is going to be just kind of the underlying area to where this radio sits on a shelf, or however you want to look at that. And just, I'm taking quite a risk that it just will bleed right into that, so I'm trying to be careful. But yes, so it's just going to sit there, and we're going to ground it by putting it on somewhere, because it just can't be floating in the air. That would be weird. So there we go. Our wonderful radio is now grounded with that underneath it. We're going to let it sit and dry and come back to this. Okay, so I am back. It is not completely dry yet. It is still a little damp. You can always test with the side of your arm, where there's less oils. But if you use your fingertips, then when you're touching, you might transfer some oils onto what you're working on. So, but you can't tell if it's wet or not. But you can also tell with the forearm of your arm. So I drew out some notes and a staff, music staff, and we're just going to go over it with some pens. I have a couple of different pens here. I have a soft brush SB, small brush, and a 1.5 bullet nib. So, and I'm going to actually use that one. While that dries, I'm going to work on this area, and then do some writing, and then we'll be done. Okay, so I have filled in this area here with some black pen. It's still pretty damp along the radio area, so I'm going to write up in here, Sing to the Lord, which is the very first part of that verse 13. And I'm using a warm gray, soft brush, small brush. So just you don't have to do any kind of art lettering or anything. Just do it as it makes you comfortable. So I just kind of let this brush do its own thingy. So, and I am not there are some wonderful people out there that I would recommend to look at their work and see what they say about what does it mean to do lettering and that sort of thing. I am not that person. I just enjoy using the brush and the soft brushes and pens and letting them kind of just take over. Now, on the page, you can add color by adding more watercolor. I think what I'm going to go back and doing is just adding some splashes. So I have a little bit of leftover paint over here, and I think I'm going to add some splashes. I'm going to go back and let's see, just little ones that's just adding some texture and color to my page here. So another way to wet your area is by using a brush. You can get in there and move color around and just add some fun color just to add some texture and stuff into it. So, and what I'm actually using are the colors that I made the radio with. So using that cobalt blue and vermilion blue. And when you think about your walk with God, and what are you thankful for? Where did it start out for you? And where are you at today? Has it grown? Has it not grown? Are you realizing the need of your salvation day as much as you did from that first day? And the importance of recognizing who the Lord is and just giving your heart to Him, and just like His word says, sing to the Lord and praise the Lord. So let's do that, and I encourage you to do that. We're going to let this dry, and then I'll finish off the whole little area down here. But if I can have you just like this, you can click the subscribe button to watch more videos. They will be coming throughout the rest of this month. And until next time, you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.